How do I desolder RC electronics with a soldering iron? Imagine trying to swap out a tiny component on your remote control car circuit board without damaging anything. That's where desoldering comes in. If you want to replace or repair parts on your RC electronics, knowing how to desolder properly is key. Using just a soldering iron, you can do this efficiently and safely. First, set up your workspace. Make sure you work in a well-lit area with good ventilation. Gather your tools: a soldering iron with a fine tip, a desoldering pump or desoldering braid, tweezers, and some flux. Keep your soldering iron tip clean and well-tinned for better heat transfer. Turn on the soldering iron and let it heat up to about 350 degrees Celsius. When you're ready, place the tip on the solder joint you want to remove. Hold it there for a few seconds until the solder melts completely. Be patient and avoid applying heat for too long to prevent damaging the circuit board or the component. Once the solder is melted, quickly use a desoldering pump by placing its nozzle over the molten solder and activating it to suck the solder away. If you don't have a pump, use desoldering braid. Place the braid over the melted solder and press the hot soldering iron tip on top. The solder will wick into the braid. Repeat this process if needed until the joint is clear. When the solder is gone, gently lift or wiggle the component or wire using tweezers or small pliers. If it resists, reheat the joint to melt any remaining solder. Be careful not to pull too hard while the solder is still solid, as this can lift pads or damage traces. After removing the component, clean the area with some isopropyl alcohol and a brush to remove flux residue. This makes future soldering easier and keeps the circuit clean. For RC electronics, use a soldering iron with adjustable temperature set around 350 degrees Celsius. Small, delicate parts need gentle handling. Applying a tiny amount of fresh solder before desoldering can help heat transfer and make removal easier. Practice on scrap boards first to develop steady hand skills. Remember, patience is key. Take your time, and you'll be able to desolder components cleanly and safely, keeping your RC electronics in top shape.